I want to start this video by making a disclaimer that I am not paid by Trader Joe for making these videos. But if Trader Joe's wants to sponsor me, then feel free to do so. Please reach out. The reason I am talking a lot about Trader Joe is that I really like the projects. I only talk about projects that I personally am involved in, that I personally believe in, and that I don't want to just jump on any new protocol and just push out those things to you guys in the channel. I want to make sure that I understand these projects. I want to make sure that these projects are the ones that I actually use and understand well. That's how I want to give this information out to my viewers. Now, with that said, one thing about Trader Joe is that for those of you who remember, there was like a drama between Trader Joe and Wonderland and all that. I have huge respect for Trader Joe for staying out of that drama, for not egging on the whole craziness of Wonderland, and they continue to focus on their own tokenomics. They continue to focus on the development of new features on their exchange, on their website. So I'm deeply respecting the teams there. So great job, Trader Joe. And let's get into the topic of today. Today I want to talk about the recently launched feature of Rocket Joe. Now, if you don't know what Rocket Joe is, we'll talk about it. But let's talk about the actual protocol revenue in DeFi as far as this goes. So here's the charts of all the revenue. This is the revenue for a particular DEX. So as you can see, Ethereum still has the biggest revenue, $1.2 billion. I think this is a day or something. I'm not sure. I don't know the time range. I'm sorry, but just looking at this for comparison, Ethereum is high because of the protocol fee is high. However, if you look at other things like OpenSea, DYDX, PancakeSwap, so let's look at PancakeSwap comparison because that's more an accurate comparison for DEXs. So PancakeSwap has $17.1 million in protocol revenue. Now, if you look down here, Trader Joe is at 4.2. So there is quite a bit of room for Trader Joe to move up as far as the ranking goes. Because it's on Avalanche, it's not as big right now, but I think there's a huge potential for Avalanche to spike to top of the range, and in turn this will bring Trader Joe to there as well. Now remember, Trader Joe is one of the biggest, one of the first and one of the best exchanges on Avalanche. It was the first DEX I used when I switched to Avalanche, and I still find it extremely nice to this day because of the way the UI was designed, because of the usability. I think this was like really cute graphics and very easy to use for anyone who's not even that familiar with DEXs. So recently, they launched a Rocket Joe feature. Now, in TLDR is that Rocket Joe is a place where people can launch their tokens fairly for everyone, for the people who created the token and for the people who wants to buy these tokens. Basically, it's a launch pad for new tokens. So that is the basic of that. Now I want you to, instead of reading this whole thing, I'll go through it, but I just want to show you like what exactly that is. So remember, if you want to participate in these launches of these new tokens, you must have RJoe. Now what is RJoe? For those of you who are familiar with Joe in the past year or so, you're probably familiar with XJoe. XJoe is the staked version of Joe. Now, at the current moment, this coin is withdraw only. Why is that? Well, because this token is getting deprecated. Trader Joe actually renovated all of the tokenomics to make it more clear, to make it more functional. So instead of having a single XJoe, which is the staked version of your Joe token, you can now, if you already have some of this, you should withdraw out of it and convert it back to Joe. And then you can go here and go to SJoe. Now SJoe, think of it as the new version of the staked Joe. This is where you can go and stake your Joe, and it will have the similar tokenomics here. So rewards are distributed once a day. You can harvest at any time. And the 7-day APR is shown here, which is 59.18% right now, which is really big. Consider this, compared to other things. This is a single-sided staking, so there's no impermanent loss. So 59.18% is really good for Joe. So currently there are $75 million staked in the staked Joe. Now this is what you need to do. Now what's really interesting is that your rewards are paying out in USDC. So this is the new part. Instead of paying you out in SJO or something or another Joe token, you are getting paid out in USDC directly. Now this is really, really smart. The reason is that this will cause the selling pressure of Joe to go down. The price of Joe token will eventually be less volatile because the fact that nobody needs to sell their Joe anymore when they unstake. So if you look at the Joe token, we are getting like quite a bit of volatility due to the general market, but I think tokenomic wise, this is a bit better than the previous version where you get paid out in Joe. So you get USDC directly. So this is one of the first staking platforms I see that actually pays out in USDC directly. Now let's talk about Rocket Joe. Rocket Joe is here. So the same thing, you have to stake your Joe token into the platform to get our Joe, which is the Rocket Joe. So Rocket Joe is required if you want to participate in these launchpads. Now, why would anyone want to participate in launchpads? Well, there are several reasons. Launchpads are good ways for new projects to get off the ground, to provide liquidity for new projects. And Trader Joe partner with these projects to give them a platform where they can launch on. So think of this as a decentralized exchange, but similar to Coinbase or something when they list a new project, right? This is how Joe would list a new project that they actually did their due diligence on. So right now, currently, with the finish tab, there are 4 coins which are all launched through this launchpad, and they all seem to have gone well since the protocol launched. So they just launched this like a few days ago. Now, once you get your RJO, there are some things you can do. You can pick one of these protocols you like to do it, and then you have to deposit some AVAXs in order to participate. Now the details are a bit not straightforward, but you can go to the site here and it'll tell you what exactly is happening. So basically pre-launch, you stake your Joe to earn RJO. Then you can use the RJO to allocate for the share of the pool to spend in those pre-launches. You can withdraw these at any time, but there is a penalty anytime you want to withdraw. After launch, you can feel free to do whatever you want to help. And some farms will incentivize people to stay in there with double the farm rewards. So to break it down, pre-launch, before this new project has launched here, let's take this one. Let's say this project is about to launch. Pre-launch, you stake a Joe to earn RJO. So RJO is used to participate in these launches. Now 2 days when in the deposit phase, 2 days before launch, when the launch opens for deposit, user can exchange RJO to gain access to the launch pool. So you exchange your RJO to gain access to the pool. Once you have entered the launch pool, you can deposit AVAX to the launch pool. The user will now be allocating % of that pool based on their AVAX deposit. User can withdraw the deposit anytime. However, there's a maximum withdrawal fee of 50%. So there's always a withdrawal fee to incentivize people to not dump their coin after launch. Because a lot of times these launches are they are getting gamed by a lot of people, by bots, by snipers, by people who just want to pump and dump. Usually these, when you buy into the pre-launch, the price is really low. And when they actually launch, the price spiked. And whenever the price spiked, people tend to dump all their coins to take profits. So this is usually how it goes. Well, so what Joe is trying to solve here is by setting up a penalty phase. So you can't really withdraw that early. You'll get a 50% penalty. So nobody will withdraw like that. So once this is all good, this is like one day. To enable optimal price correction, user will be giving a 24-hour window to withdraw the token at a fixed fee of 20%. So if you still want to withdraw, you take the 20% hit. So keep in mind, there's always a withdrawal fee of either 10% or 20%. So once you do that, then you'll receive your LP token composed of your AVAX and the issue protocol token. So basically you use RJO to participate, and then you deposit AVAX and then you get the issuing token together as a LP. So you'll be locked for 3 to 7 days, dictated by the issuing pool. This can be timed to coincide with, okay. So now, once it's launched, that's it. So this is pretty much a summary of how this goes. You can pause the video and read about it. But basically, there have been quite a few successful launches. Now, as far as how successful they are, as you can see, there's still a 20% penalty for withdrawing. Now, let's look at some of the coins which were launched and see how they perform. Now, it's not always sunshine, because I am taking two examples, this Han token and this Thief token. Let's take a look at Han token. So as you can see the price here, this is quite brutal. At the launch, well, I don't know about when this launched. Is it Han token? Let's see. I don't know the dates of this thing here, but okay, February 14th. Okay, February 4th. Okay, so this is launched through here. So as you can see, the price was at $1. Then despite all the withdrawal penalties, people are still dumping all of this. So right now, this is trading at 9 cents. So as you can see, it's still dangerous to do this. So if you do want to participate it, like here's another example of Thief token, right? Also launched through the launch program. So it seems like to me, this is a Thief token. It seems like to me that people are still dumping these coins, even though there are penalties associated with it. So I'm not sure if the feature from Trader Joe is actually solving the issue of people dumping these coins. I guess it's also up to you to figure out whether you believe in these projects and whether you think these are good for long term. Now, as far as like the idea goes, I think this is very good for the ecosystem, because you're able to help people launch their projects, launch their coins, and to prevent bots from front running these things, to prevent sniper bots from taking advantage of these launches. In a way, this is like a fair launch protocol. So I will drop the link to this article in the description below. So I hope you guys find this interesting, and I hope you guys give this a try. So always do your due diligence, and keep in mind things like this can and always can happen. So be careful. But I hope you guys learned something in this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.